sure I can do a screen share too, which should be good. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So good. It's for you guys. Good morning. For most of you, I'm East Coast, Jeff Lobb here from Coach 52 for those who have not had the pleasure to meet yet. And this will be recorded for you guys to be able to take a look at not only just Coach 52, but also from the new launch that we added to the Coach 52 platform, which was the Marketing Center. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen real quick, and I'll kind of just hit some of the highlights for today, and then we can always go deeper. But for those not knowing who's going to see this throughout the upcoming weeks, if you've been in the Coach 52 system, this is the main dashboard, and this is a demo account, if you will, a mock account of ours we use for demos. You'll see your dashboard, and just for the quick overview of where things are, coaching sessions, which are added almost consistently on a weekly basis, top strategies that top producers and agents are using across the country, all bottled up into 8 to 10 minutes of a weekly session. And as you can see, they're all marked here just for those who have not been in. But there's some really good, relevant content in just about any one of them. If you're brand new and you're watching this and you just maybe joined Rise and you're just getting settled, there's business planning. There's a new agent series here now, what to do 30, 60, 90 days from when you get started, help jumpstart you making some money. But today we're going to focus a little bit more on the Marketing Center that was just added. So you can access it in two places. One on the bottom right icon, or up in the drop-down menu, we put it in two places so you can have access to it from wherever you are. This is it's meant to be a simple version of digital marketing. When I say simple, something that can be done quickly, efficiently, not have to redesign anything, not have to be super creative in software, but this will allow digital content to flow from you directly to your consumer. It could be mailed, they could be printed, they could be downloaded and saved. The one thing we wanted when we put together some marketing content that we teach is we wanted you to have the flexibility to be able to say, hey, I want to send this directly to the consumer, push a few buttons and go, and it'll mail it for you. Or you might be on a different budget type system and say, hey, I want these to be downloaded and I'll print them at Staples or my own office or whatever I want to do. So there is no forced mechanism for any of this content. You can have it for any of your needs. You're going to see postcards, digital flyers, full-blown brochures, which are a little more elegant, social media, where you can push social media ads and or have social media for your Instagram and Facebook posts, presentations, door hangers, marketing letters, letterhead, and then we got video platforms as well. So for today's purposes, I just want to get you familiar with what's in here and showing you a little bit of how to do some of it. The depth of this content is basically quite extensive. So I want you to really focus on what you need first. So let's start off with probably the most important part when you get here, which is your main information from Coach 52. If you noticed, I didn't have to log into something else. So it just flows in. Your profile, a little different than your profile on Coach 52. This will allow you to add your company colors one time, your company logo one time, making sure your website address, if it already is in Coach 52, it carries over, like it just streamlines in. But for this example, Travis, your colors are more black and whitish or red, or what colors do you typically prefer in marketing for you guys?
It's usually like a deeper maroon and gray.
Like a maroon and gray. So, and I'll just pick something for, purposes here. I'll just pick more of a maroon. You can upload your logo, your photo, headshot, and obviously this is my demo account. Most importantly, you need to make sure you hit update to save all this fun stuff. But as I'm scrolling through, you'll see that if you have a team and you want to have a team structure, you can also add other members of your team or maybe your mortgage partner or somebody else here too. So I'm going to hit update for the color update that we just did. And a lot of this happens in real time. So sometimes it may take a few seconds depending on the size of the files. But let's go into a sample postcard marketing platform. So here's the scenario. I want to create a geographic farm and I want to put together a coming soon just listed or coming soon postcard to mail out to my farm area. So you can choose from open house listing postcards. They're already pre-done for you, although you can edit them. And by editing them, meaning type over the words, make it real simple. So there's a luxury version, middle version of size, 5.5 by 8.5, and then of course the smaller one for more affordability. We'll give you an example or two. So this will be templated, it's already done. Anything you see here that's in a box clickable is editable. So you can just type in what you want. Now, there's two things here, and Travis, I can work with you guys on this as a brokerage. We get this data feed from HubSpot, from ListHub. So if we don't already have a feed, we can simply give you the paperwork, fill it out, and we'll get the feed for you. Meaning we could take any active listing. I just zoomed in on me here. Any active listing, and it could get pulled by the MLS itself. Let me see, my screen just zoomed in too much. So give me 1 second to go back to actual size here. Here we go. So for example, if you had an active listing, and I'll just type in one that I know of as an example, you would type in your MLS number if this syncs with your data. And if not, any of these photos you could just drag and drop. So still pretty simple, just a preference of how you'd want to get your photos in here. It'll find your listing in the MLS, pull in MLS photos of what you put on there, or if it's a coming soon, it's not an MLS, just drag and drop them. Right, so I want to make, this is a condo actually, so I want to make this the front photo. And then you can crop, it just shows you where you can crop, and I want the front entrance here of the condo development. Okay, so your data will pull in, the address will pull in, beds and baths will pull in, your color codes will pull in. There'll be a backside to it as well, which you can adjust photos just by clicking or changing them. Not the sexiest of listings here, but let's grab the pool. Just to show you though, it's not that difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and what I'll do is when I save this, I have a choice now. If you look on the left-hand side, I could download this postcard and save it and send it to my own printer. I could print it and have it shipped to my office if you want, which I'm not a fan of. I'd rather have it done for me, or just direct mail out the door to my farm area. So let's go there for a second. I want to market this coming soon, or it could be a just sold to my farm area. If you have your own list, right? If you have your own list, Trav, and you want to upload it, Excel spreadsheet, CSV file, you pulled it from tax records and you farm there all the time, upload it. If you don't have one, you could leverage the data and purchase a list one time, save that list and use it over and over again forever. So let's do that as an example. I'm going to send this postcard to, I'm going to try maybe figure out 300 or 400 homes I want to send this to. So while this is giving me an entire proof of my postcard to make sure it's the right postcard, what I want, how it reads, I approve it. And it's now going to say, okay, where do I want to mail this? So maybe give me either an address, Trav, or a zip code or someplace just to test out here.
About 92008.
92008, Carlsbad, California. And the option of choosing a radius around a home or points. I like points because I want to be really specific where I want to market. And I don't want to pay for extra stuff in areas that I don't want to market to. So I'm going to pick points. Let's say I want to market to this particular neighborhood right here. And I don't even know where this is, but I'm sure you do.
Yep.
Right. So I want to farm just right to the waterfronts here. And I can really just drag and drop what I want to there. I want homeowners, or if there's renters, I can select probable renters as well. But I want to see how many homes are in that marketplace to count. And this is where you can back into your budget and say, okay, there's 1,028 homes here. So that's a lot. So maybe you'll say, okay, listen, I really only want to do 500 or whatever it is. Just bring your lines into the areas more specifically where you want to focus. I'm going to guess here. And redo the count. 267. Okay. So that's what I want to use. Once I say good, and I accept obviously the data it's going to send me, click next. This will say, do I want a copy of it to my own address so I could see my own postcard? Sure, make sure your address is in there. And I can name this. So I could reuse this list over and over again. I don't have to purchase it again. It's 7 cents a household. You pay for it one time. So this is telling me right here that that postcard I just designed for 268 of them, to purchase the list one time is $18.76. To mail them, it's going to cost me $150. Boom, make payment, online, credit card. And if it's done before 2 o'clock Eastern time, it's usually out the door same day, even or next morning. So simplicity, right? That's simple.
Yeah.
But the nice part is if you wanted to save it and download it so you can use it for your own printer, fantastic. Go for it. Okay, so these are just some scenarios of the things that are offered in the Marketing Center. Let me just go back. You'll see that flyers are very similar, whether it's for open houses, shareable, you can text it to people. Same thing applies with flyers, right? You'll pull in the data, or you could copy paste or just drag and drop. Now, if it does drag in your MLS data and we set it up for your MLS, it might overflow with the amount of words you put in. You may have to do a little editing and, tweaking some of your verbiage, but it'll pull in your list price, your beds and baths, your square footage. Everything on the back is pre-designed as well. Change your photos. And again, it's downloadable, so you can save it, print. And if you want to share it, you could share it to your Facebook page. You could email it to yourself, or you could save it as a PDF file. So your flexibility. Right. Okay. Social media. Just create some social media posts already in some framework that's kind of built for the size of the platform. So if you wanted to make a Facebook listing announcement, an Instagram, remember Instagram's different shape and size. You want other ideas and engagement posts that are pre-done for you with your logo already. These are done and built, where you can edit them, and they're all built for you. So there's dozens of choices for ways to get engagement in between your personal flair that you add.
All right.
The one thing I do like that would take one time to set up, but we have an integration here with Facebook itself. So for Facebook ads, a lot of times if you use the wrong size photo, or you go into the Facebook business center, if you will, if something's not right, Facebook will reject that ad based on a size or a word that you've used or something that doesn't comply. This integration is already going to fix all of that. The only thing you have to do is connect it to your business page that you would run the ad from. So you would have to simply follow the 5 steps one time to connect it to your Facebook page. You're going to give it permission to post through your Facebook page. And once that's done, it will have pre-built templates for you to run a Facebook ad. Again, if it's in your MLS and you can pull the data, it'll pull it in. If not, you could change the photo of the one you want to run, but it will comply with all of the Facebook rules and even give you emojis and titles to use as well. You'll select simply how long do you want the ad to run, how much of a budget do you want. You pay for it with your credit card through Facebook like you normally would, and it runs. So it gives you the flexibility to keep it simple without having to go through the ad manager.
Yeah.
Right. And you can select, targeting and all that stuff within Facebook's guidelines. So this is done on an individual agent. What's that?
So this sets up the targeting. You just have some preset filters in there, or?
Yep. You got presets. You can adjust them. And remember, with Facebook, obviously it has limitations to the real estate rules now. So it'll take out whatever you cannot adjust for targeting. You could do a mileage area. You could do a zone. What they've done is they took out the things that most agents would make a mistake with and get the ad rejected, so that every ad that gets placed here is automatically going to get approved because it meets the guidelines.
Yeah. Okay.
So again, it's one of those things you'll have to get into. I'm not going to use my Facebook page here to use as an example we're obviously not actively selling real estate right now to give you an example, but
Yeah.
take one account or take your own account, Travis, create a mock-up of it, and push it through, and you'll see how it works. But you could set the budget daily as little as $1 or $2 per day, or as high as you want.
Okay.
Okay. But it's an integration that you set it up once, give Facebook permissions. It should flow. If you ever get stuck, one of the nice parts here, if there's ever an issue, let me see if I could find it. There's a tech support group usually available normal business hours that can help you with any questions you come up with or a snag that you come into that you're not sure what to do with.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let me go back to presentations. If you guys have this as an organization, great. If you want to make it your own here, listing and buyer presentations could be created for you to put your own graphics in, your own, it'll carry over your logo and have the template set up, but you'll be able to look at your own buyer or listing presentation. One being mobile, one being for laptop and desktop.
Okay.
They're kind of predetermined and set where you can change any of the content. So you can add your 5 bullet points, the reasons why they should buy. So it's kind of a templated system for you to create one time.
Okay. And can you remove a slide if you don't want one of those, or?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, sure can.
Can you add in a blank one?
Good question. Don't know that one. Or you might be able to just to delete any of these and make them your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can put your own JPEGs and just edit any of these for sure.
Okay.
Make them blanks. Yep. Good question. And then of course you can do a grid view if you want to look at them in a grid view. Okay. And if you have suggestions or thoughts here, Travis, we can see what's possible beyond what's here. Realistically, just for other sample purposes, let me go back to the few video. There's some consumer facing videos. There's a video creator tool that kind of just automates really a slideshow, if you will. See if I can get a sample of it here. I don't know how well it'll play over Zoom, but let me see if I can do a preview play. Obviously, you'd have your photos here of your listing.
Yeah.
And it would loop through. That's just a little clip through. So it'd be basically a slideshow video with your listing inventory. It is shareable to social media as well. You would just save it. It saves it as a little video clip. And it would loop. All right, so that's that. And any automations you want for postcard marketing, you can set up automations. This was just added as well. So if you wanted to do a direct campaign, there's different collections that are available for either holidays and having it sent to a specific email list automatically.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So it just automatically goes out a couple days for the holiday or something?
Yep. There's direct mail for this one is revamping your home, organizing closets, doing all the stuff. This one's built around home devices and gardening and some other stuff. So they're just some automations that are put into place. This one's brand new to us. I've not automated one just yet. We've seen the demo of it. It got added literally this past week. So they've added some new features to it. So we'll be playing around with this as well to create some good mock-ups, but it brings all your data in, your logo in, your face in, and everything's already predetermined and done.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer when you see it with your logos and your everything else built into it. Which is why I think, you could create your own account there. All right. So from that aspect, that's pretty much an overview of it. I'm open to, questions. I mean, there's door hangers, there's letterhead. Some people like marketing letters, depending on what you're doing in your market. If inventory is really tight right now, which I imagine is still a challenge with inventory in your market.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, especially, and certain zip codes are pretty rough right now.
Right. So one of the ones we like to use for stuff like that, if you wanted, we call it the magic buyer letter. You can change any of the words. It just gives you the structure so you don't have to think about it. but your name, your brand, your signature. Dear homeowner, I'm currently working with my clients in this particular area. We're looking, you can edit any of this, of course, but it just gives you the framework of what the letter is about. And again, you could print it, ship it, or do anything you want with it, or even have it sent direct mail to that targeted audience as well.
How does
So
that
even
get
letters.
packaged up? Is that like a trifold, or is that in an envelope?
It'll be in a regular envelope.
Okay.
Regular envelope. Now, the one thing I did notice is pricing for a letter and an envelope is much more expensive than a postcard. But if this was something like a condo building or something that you can hit, and it's not as big of an audience, it might be nicer to have a letter go out.
Yeah.
But I did look at pricing for letters because they've got to be stuffed and inserted and sealed versus a postcard. Postcards are typically more affordable. But if you're looking for something unique, or just have this printed and you can, either mail them yourself if you'd like.
Okay.
Feel free to do it yourself. But these are just samples that are done from people that have used these where you plug in your own information. All right. What questions do you have or anything, thoughts of the simplicity of this versus maybe some stuff you're currently using? Is this some stuff you think that might be useful for your brokerage or your agents?
Yeah, I want to try out the Facebook ad. I'm gonna probably connect an account and see how that posts up and performs. Probably let it run. Like a week or something. Good. So I'm curious to see what the filters look like on it.
Got it. And some of the simplicity to me when we try and teach geographic farming, which is really specific. I know, a lot of people use every door EDDM for postal service, but it's also it's a buckshot approach. It broadcasts all these homes that you may or may not want to target. So I like the fact of saying I want to hit this one little area specifically, and I want those email address or I want those addresses.
Yeah.
So it'll probably save you a bunch of money and it'd be more focused targeting.
Yeah, that's what I would prefer usually, especially for direct mail.
Yeah, for direct mail. We have noticed people, depending on your market area, I know a lot of people we have in the Florida market, some even along the East Coast, depending on your rules, they weren't comfortable going to the doors looking for homes because they had 3 or 4 buyers looking to buy in a specific area. Like they want a townhome in this area or they want a home. So instead of door knocking, door hangers came back. They've been using them. They've been printing them by the thousands with a little different, hey, we just sold this or we're looking for a home and or showing, coming soon stuff. So they've been getting activity using this kind of content. But
door knockers are actually an underrated piece of marketing material.
It is. And I know with the whole pandemic stuff, some people were uncomfortable going to a door knocking, but we found that this was kind of a hybrid of, I may not want to talk to you just yet, but I want to leave you information just to draw some attention.
Yeah.
So, changing some of this language, especially if you just sold something or, we could probably get creative, like, I don't know how many, so many fonts it'll take. Looking for homes. Let me see how many it'll take here. If it'll tag now, so it'll be too long. Or looking to sell. So you can get creative and drop a generic home in there, take the price out. You customize a bit yourself,
Yeah.
So, these are the thoughts to be a little more creative when you're trying to find those. What could I do when I have buyers and I have no place to get listed?
Yeah.
So that, and the backs are done too. You can get creative on the back. You can change anything. If maybe you leave the front looking for homes and you can put your description in here, put a generic photo of the brokerage in here, stuff like that. So you can kind of twist them and shape them how you want them. All right. So that's that. When you go back to the Coach 52 platform, for those who haven't seen some of the newer stuff, I just want to make sure that you've seen some of the goal tracking details. If you've missed some of your weeks, we notice some people skip a few weeks here and there, and they want to go back in and enter something they missed. You can edit any of your weeks, meaning I had a closing on this week and I forgot to put it in. To me, it's so important to at least have a clue where you are in your year. especially when you work for a company like yourself where everyone's virtual. You want to run this like a business. And if you haven't really tapped into some of the training videos, I mean, we get a lot of requests for people always asking about like, how do I use social media better? How do I use Instagram? How do I use certain tools better? And you could find them in these libraries that are on demand whenever you want. And we're finding people sometimes just not going deep enough to find the tools and resources that are in the platform. They stay in one section and then they're out.
Yeah.
So just kind of giving people the insights to leverage some of this stuff. If you like to hear what other people are doing as far as scripts and dialogues, you know, we have a lot of role playing going on where we're doing this stuff for you already with scripts. You want to hear what people are saying. How are they handling objections? We've got people role playing through a lot of this stuff in some of these videos that'll give you those strategies to use when you're out and about.
Okay.
Just a couple of reminders. If for some of you that are producing and you want higher level coaching, Travis and I discussed, you know, we do one-on-one coaching here outside of the Coach 52 platform. It is truly, it's one-on-one twice a month or once a week for 4 weeks. We do it throughout the year. We could do them in either group, which will be more affordable, or one-on-one. But people like the one-on-one because it's very specific to either the top producer's needs, or I want to grow a team, or I want to take my production from 5 million to 10 million. Whatever that is, we customize it because it's very specific to your needs. So we take up to 14 one-on-one clients at any one time because it's very specific. It's not just a churn and burn. You know, we try and make commitments to the individual agent for an entire year. Like, we're going to commit to make your year what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And if you have those types of agents that need that, they could just reach out to Jeff at Coach 52 or info@coach52.com. And we will have a, you know, set up a call or a Zoom meeting with them to go over strategy.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah. And, you know, we find we have a lot of great success. We have a lot of people behind the scenes that are doing really well this year, even with inventory being challenged. But more importantly, we're trying to help people be prepared for what's happening 6 to 12 months out.
Yeah.
How do you shift when the market shifts? What do you need to know now? And how do you start doing the work? And I think you probably know best, Travis. I think the hardest part is being accountable.
Yeah.
To do the work, being accountable. I work with some really great producers across the country. The one thing they really love is when they log in with us, they know that they have to do the work, and the work's going to turn into money.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of coaching, right? And
you have to want it. You have to want the accountability, right? So
do the work.
Do the work. We will be super creative. We'll go outside the box thinking. We'll make sure you got the right systems in place. We'll make sure that, you know, you're doing the right activities. And the goal is make more money. Because if it doesn't, then we probably shouldn't be working together.
Exactly.
All right. Any other questions?
The center looks great.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm going to poke around in there, and like I said, I'm going to connect the Facebook ad account and check that out.
Yeah, and if you need, and if you need certain criteria in Facebook ads, you may just have to go back to your Facebook ad platform and do the creative stuff there. This was meant to be more click, 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 turnkey. If you want super, you know, high-end criteria and data, you might have to go back to your ad manager. I just know that the ad manager gets very intimidating for most agents. It's become a business to log into that thing and navigate through it.
Yeah.
So it has become a challenge for a lot of people that don't have the time or the depth to learn it. So
yeah, and it's a deep program. So
it is. It's gone crazy.
They're always changing it too, so it's hard to keep up with it.
Yeah. So if you find that, hey, if you're savvier in this market and you want to go to your ad manager, use that. If you want it simple, where you're just clicking, setting some basic parameters and budgets and criteria, the market center would probably be better for you.
Yeah.
You want deeper data, go back to the ad manager. So 100% behind that.
Yep.
All right. So listen, I appreciate you guys. If you ever need us to do a specialty session for you guys throughout the year, something just for your whole group live, or I mean, obviously virtually, Zoom live or whatever live, let me know. Be happy to go over a specific topic, whether it's prospecting or what's happening in the market, or we'll do it for you guys. And we appreciate you guys as our clients.
Yeah. Sounds good. Appreciate your time.
Great.
a lot.
Thank you. We're going to tap out. And if you have any other housekeeping, you're welcome to do whatever you need to do. But
Yep.
thanks.
No, I think we'll just go ahead and wrap up now. So thanks for
Got
attending,
it.
guys.
Great. Thank you.
Talk to you later.